Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to each and every one of you to the next session at the DigiBank UAE edition. Then for the next session, I would like to call Mr. Abhijit Akerkar, the Non-Executive Director, TBC Bank Group PLC. Abhijit is an influential thought leader in artificial intelligence in banking and has cross-disciplinary global experience operating at a strategic level at the forefront of technology. At Lloyds Banking Group, he drove the safe scaling and integration of machine learning across retail, commercial, and insurance businesses. His thoughts on generating value from the artificial intelligence have been published by leading institutes. Earlier at McKinsey and Company, he partnered with companies around the world at the board and executive levels to set strategy, unlock the power of data, and transform organizations. Previously, he has built and grew tech-enabled businesses in Europe, Asia for HCL Technologies. I welcome you, Abhijit, and I hope you have a very good session. And the delegates should definitely learn something from you. And thank you very much. And I'm right here if you need me for any information. And you can share your screen now.
Thank you, Mitsu. I don't think I've, okay, yes.
We can see your screen now.
I hope you can see the screen now.
Yes, yes, we can.
Excellent. So good afternoon, everybody. Cambrian explosion that you see on this particular slide that transformed the face of the planet Earth. And 540 million years later, we experienced another explosion, probably of the same scale, an entrepreneurial explosion that shook every nook and cranny of this economy. Software is eating the world, wrote Mark Andreessen. You may have heard about it. What sparked that explosion? It's the infrastructure as a service offering from Amazon. Why did it have the explosive power? It allowed anybody with a laptop and a credit card to launch a startup. It unleashed the entrepreneurial power. You see, 15 years ago, it was hard to start a software company. You would have to go to a computer store, buy physical servers, load them into the back of a truck, drive them back to your office, rack them in a server room. You would buy some software licenses, write some code for a database, spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, before you could start building the product. What did Amazon do? It reduced the cost. It lowered the complexity that unleashed millions of experiments. The same change, monumental change, infrastructure as a service, is coming to financial services. And it is not just one company, it's multiple companies, because financial services infrastructure is complex. Starting a bank is a complex thing. Just getting the license takes years. But this transformation will reduce the cost, lower the complexity for any company to become a financial services company. Any bank can start as a non-bank. And what will it do? It will unleash thousands of experiments, which will pave the way for the future of banking. And the change has already begun. We see it all around us. Apple has 3.1 million credit card users. Shopify, an e-commerce company that you may have heard about, with a market cap of $120 billion, has half of its revenues coming from financial services. Uber acts as a bank for its drivers. Monzo, the digital bank in the UK, was not born as a bank. Revolut now wants to be bank in the UK after 5 years of its launch. So to understand what will unleash the Amazon moment, let's take an example. What it takes to offer only two basic products: a checking account and a debit card. Right? Getting a banking license, as I told you earlier, takes years. And the likelihood of success is low. So you will have to find a sponsoring bank partner. The bank will lend you its license in exchange for a financial cut. But even finding the right sponsor is difficult. Not every bank wants to be a sponsoring bank, because while the bank gets benefits, it also carries additional risk. It must comply with KYC. It must comply with AML. Let us assume you strike a deal with a sponsoring bank. You will still need to build the rest of the product. You will need a card processor, a card issuer, a card printer, some way to hook into other bank accounts for data, a way for consumers to make payments, and so on and on. Now, think of the world where you can get banking as a service with an API connection. The entire banking stack that is verticalized by the traditional banks is becoming horizontal. Each layer is available as a service. And that is the Amazon moment, which will unleash thousands of experiments. Let us look at a few examples. Right? Earlier, I talked about offering two basic products: a checking account and a debit card. Now, if you are in the US, Synapse is a company that can offer you this as a service. Goldman Sachs is a license provider to Apple and is building a full banking as a service capability. Solaris Bank offers banking as a service platform with its German banking license. Suede offers regulation as a service. Fourth Line provides KYC as a service. So if you see the entire banking as a stack with the license holder at the bottom and a brand, that brand can be any company. It could be Apple, it could be Uber, it could be any company. It could be Unilever, it could be Procter & Gamble. It could be any of that particular brand offering the financial service. So what kinds of experiments will this fuel? As I was saying, this will allow any brand, Procter & Gamble, Unilever, you name it, to embed a financial service offering in its customer journey. Right? Banks offer a mortgage, but an individual doesn't get up in the morning to get mortgage. Right? He or she gets up to buy a house, to buy a home. So embedding the financial service in the customer journey does the magic. Embedding payment into the use of iPhone did the trick for Apple. offering working capital loans to merchants to help them sell goods on Amazon website did the trick for Amazon. The word I'm underscoring is embedding. It's embedding that will boost margins for brands and make products stickier. And embedding is different from today's world of acting as an agent or a reseller of an insurer or a lender. So today, companies use a payment processing solution by paying a fee to the payments provider. And then they pass on that particular cost to the customers. Tomorrow, companies will become PayFacs themselves. Of course, you will need a threshold revenue for the business to make this effort profitable. Look at Tesla. It embedded insurance in the car buying journey. Tesla can better underwrite the car insurance than a third party because it has all the car driving data. Toast provides loans to its customers, restaurants, because it can better underwrite loans using the transaction data of the restaurants. Those restaurants use the Toast as a platform. It's the embedding that will drive the magic. And that magic is jaw-dropping. The projections are of 3.6 trillion market value by 2030. And that is bigger than the pre-COVID valuation of the top 30 financial institutions or the pre-COVID valuation of the software and platforms industry. So you can imagine the scale of the opportunity that is in front. Will the traditional banks be at the wrong end of this disruption? Is this disrupting the traditional banks? Not necessarily. I don't think so. Actually, the horizontal stacks give them an opportunity to widen and deepen their market by either providing their capabilities to others or renting capabilities from others to provide to their customers. And here is the spectrum of models that could evolve. On the one end, you have a full service bank, which is operating across all the horizontal stacks. And its brand, it establishes itself in all the customer journeys. Possibility, right? A bank takes that particular position. The other end of it might not be a bank itself, but the other end of it is a marketplace, which is holding the brand, is interfacing with the customers, but it sources everything, the two stacks below, from the partners. And in between these two extremes, we could see different kinds of models. So for example, product engines. Those banks will provide white label product services to others. But of course, for them to succeed in it, they will have to be the best in their offering. And their offering will need to be cost efficient. Specialist providers, what they will do is they will own and run the full stack of the specialist product, from the brand customer interface to the banking stack to the rails and the infrastructure. For example, a mortgage lender, which becomes a specialist provider. And you must have heard of the ecosystem concept. And some banks are already embracing ecosystem in the Middle East. So the ecosystem focused banks, they would want to own the customer interface, but they are open to sourcing a variety of products and services from partners to help the customers through their personal journeys. So banks actually could benefit from this particular disruption. In fact, Goldman Sachs has been a step ahead. As I told you earlier, it is acting as a license provider to Apple. But it has gone ahead. It has already launched its banking as a service offering. You could visit its developer portal, through which it is providing APIs for other companies to access the horizontal stacks from Goldman. BBVA, another big bank that has launched banking as a service offering in the US. So a number of options exist in front of the banks. It's the revolution that is not going to just change or help the fintechs. The banks will equally benefit depending upon what strategy do they deploy. And as they say, change happens gradually. Nothing happens for decades. And then suddenly, I think we are on the cusp of suddenly. It is the time now to grab the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhijit. Thank you very much. It was a very interesting presentation. It gave us very, very clear idea about what is going on in the industry. And what I would like to understand is we don't have a lot of time. We have time for just one question. What I would like to understand is, would you be able to give us 2 trends that you are looking out for, that you think can be massive in the next 5 or 10 years, something that is very, very small right now, but can gain a lot of traction over the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, as I was saying, as I was showing about, right, this entire embedded finance is a trend in itself. And it is something which is going to be huge. And we are just at the beginning of it, right? Think of the company that sells you the toothbrush, right? Launches a dental insurance. Right. And that has, you are fundamentally changing how the financial services industry functions, from going from horizontal to vertical, right? And that is a huge shift for the banks as well as for all other companies, because that is going to also drive up the revenues, margins for other companies.
Okay. All right. Okay. And we have one more question that's come up. When comparing Middle East and European banking sector on their transformation journeys, does the Middle East region have any advantage over the European banking sector?
Yes, I think if you look at ecosystems as a concept, right? I think Asia, Middle East is far ahead of Europe, for a simple reason. Europe, it's still stuck with legacy systems. And secondly, because of the data related regulations, banks are afraid to make any big changes on the customer data that it is accessing. So the regulatory restrictions are preventing Europe to actually run at a speed that the banks in Asia and Middle East can run. So you have a big advantage, which you should grab.
Right. So that's the advantage of Middle East. All right, perfect. So thank you, Abhijit. Thank you very much for this session. I'm sure it has been a very eye-opening session to everyone else as it was to me. And I would like to thank you and all the other sponsors at the DigiBank Summit, the UAE edition and the KSA edition. We would like to thank our sponsors, our strategic sponsor, Nutanix, Associate Technology Partner, SAP Concur, Silver Sponsor, OneSpan, Banking Transformation Partner, Finastra, Customer Experience Partner, Avaya, Payment Innovation Partner, MasterCard, Associate Partner, ID Now, Networking Sponsor, Lenovo, and Networking Partner, MDSAP, for showing massive trust in our capabilities and making this event possible. And now it's time for a short networking break. I hope that all of you make very meaningful connections. Please visit our sponsors and also the delegates. And I hope you speak to each other, have very good networking opportunities available on the platform, and see you back again at 1:30 UAE time. And the topic is going to be open banking, driving value and transformation banks in digital and converting banks into digital powerhouses. This is going to be conducted by Mr. Stefan Kimmel, the COO of Commercial Bank of Dubai. And I hope to see you there at 1:30 UAE time. Thank you everyone for attending, and special thanks to Abhijit for joining in all the way from UK. Thank you, Abhijit.
Thank you.